Ramadan is the ninth month of the lunar calendar. We Muslims, we use lunar calendar for our religious observances, as this is the case for Judaism. And there's this thing about lunar calendar. Lunar calendar is 11 days shorter than Gregorian calendar. So Ramadan moves backwards, and in 33 years of time, one will have fasted on every day of the Gregorian calendar. It's quite interesting because sometimes Ramadan is during the fall, and sometimes during the summer, and during winter. It travels throughout the year. So, but fasting, what is fasting? And fasting involves refraining from eating, drinking, smoking, and sexual activity from dawn to dusk. This is what basically is during the days of Ramadan, of course. True fasting involves more than this. You don't only fast with your stomach, but as the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, one also needs to fast with his eyes, with his tongue. Now, I fast by refraining from looking at blameworthy things. Your tongue fasts by refraining from saying blameworthy things, saying lies, backbiting, hate speech, abusive speech. You refrain from these things, and that is what true fasting involves. Your spirit becomes part of this process. Your whole body fasts, and if you can do this, that 29-30 days becomes a true opportunity for an ethical transformation that can make you truly a new human being. And also we know that if you do things for a certain amount of time, that can truly be a habit. So that 29-30 days of time is actually enough to instill new habits in your own nature, in your own existence. So this is one aspect of it. Ethically, it's quite transformative. It's a transformative month. And from another perspective, fasting develops self-discipline, because refraining from eating and drinking for long hours of days, right? Nowadays, this is like 15, 16 hours. And that is an act of patience. That's an act of discipline. It's a quite helpful character trait to develop. And from another perspective, fasting does this. We human beings, we have this divine spark within us. And fasting, we know, is practiced by most religious traditions. Buddhist fast, Sikhs fast, Jews fast during the days of Yom Kippur. Christian, most denominations fast, not in the same exact manner, but they do fast. And there is this wisdom behind it. We have this spirit, this heart, and if you let your body cover it, if you do not discipline your body, that thing becomes hidden. But by true discipline, that divine spark, that spirit, that ainul qalb, as they say it, this eye of the heart, starts to see things. This chantognata, as Sioux Indian were saying, this divine spark, that thing heart, starts to breathe. And this is what fasting does. Your heart starts to breathe. Your angelic side starts to breathe and shine again. Your eye of your heart starts to see things more clearly. And this is another aspect of it, more spiritual maybe, more intellectual, but this is also quite an extraordinary thing about fasting. And another thing, fasting might help you to develop more sensitive consumption habits. And as we know, our very aggressive consumption habits are destroying natural resources. Now we consume natural resources faster than nature can reproduce them. So this is a problem. And fasting, eating twice a day, and your body can actually adapt to this new situation quite easily, that help you to develop these valuable skill, sensitive consumption habits, and which may also, again, retune you with the realities of nature. Now you are a better and more sensitive consumer. From another perspective, fasting is about breaking the routine of your life, and it's about liberation actually. You break your routine during the days of Ramadan, right? You eat twice, 3 times, maybe 4 times a day, but now you eat twice a day. This is breaking the routine. And when you break your routine, something really interesting happens. Sometimes the world, withers, it loses its colors, it dwindles. But when you fast, just imagine yourself drinking that sip of water after long hours of thirst and hunger. You're drinking that water and it slowly flows down your throat. Your body shivers with joy. And you know that moment. You know that very moment. And at that moment you understand that there is nothing mundane in this world. There is nothing banal in this world. Everything is miraculous. Everything is extraordinary. And again, the world starts to shine again. The world is colorful again. The world regains those alluring colors again, because it's a miracle that you're looking at. The things that you take for granted usually are actually miracles. That bottle of water is a miracle. And in fasting, you understand that too. And that is a liberating thing. That is the breaking the routine. Breaking your routine helps you to have a new perspective towards life. From another perspective even, fasting is about remembrance. They say the quintessence of religion is prayer. And the quintessence of prayer is fasting. When you fast, yes, you do remember during those days of, during the long hours of days. Because thirst and hunger, that instills that consciousness of presence in your heart and in your mind. Your physical, the troubles, it's not only spiritual. Islam doesn't make a difference between one's spiritual and physical side. Every spiritual journey must be accompanied by a physical journey. And your physical side becomes part of this spiritual journey of remembering God or getting closer to God. So fasting, in its essence, is a form of remembrance. It's a form of zikr, as they say it. So fasting is also this. From another perspective, it has social and political aspects as we know it, right? Fasting helps you to empathize with the poor, with the needy. When you fast, yes, now you understand. Now you understand how it feels to be hungry. Now you know how it feels to be thirsty. Now you know how it feels, at least you have an idea how it feels to be inflicted by a disaster, by a famine. Now you know it. You now existentially know it, and you empathize with the other. And that empathy might trigger that mechanism of compassion within you. And that compassion might lead you to charity. Now you will love to give. Now you will again reorganize your life in accordance with the principle of giving. Now you will dethrone yourself from the center of the world and you will put someone else there. And that's what fasting can do. And one last thing, we can extend the list. The benefits of fasting are inexhaustible. But just one last thing. Fasting is also about realizing how fragile you are. Fasting is about realizing how needy we are. Fasting is about this realization. And that realization itself might motivate you, might encourage you to start a journey toward God. Because we are fragile, we are needy, we are finite beings, but quenching for the infinite. This is what we are. Fasting helps us to remember what we are and what God is. So that will motivate you to start a journey toward the one who can quench your thirst. As he quenches your physical thirst, during the iftar time, as he quenches your physical thirst, he can also quench your existential, your spiritual thirst. We are fragile and we want to run towards the infinite that can quench our spiritual thirst.